Welcome back to Girl Talk. We're here today at the Vinery in Madison. And as you can see behind us too, just some beautiful glass. It's just gorgeous.
And in front of us.
And in front of us too. So we'll get to that a little bit later on in the show. But right now I'm joined by Andy and Jenna. And you guys are with the Eating Disorder Support Network. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thank you for having us.
And you're both co-directors, but Andy, you're a doctor of psychology, and Jenna, you're a program manager at Walden Living. So just want to throw that out there as well. So some great backgrounds that you're bringing, to this organization. And we'll just start off with, for people who may not be familiar, what is this organization?
Yeah, so the Eating Disorder Support Network is a multidisciplinary collective of providers and community supporters that all get together to serve our clients, to give them a more holistic approach to eating disorder services. So we really are getting 360 degrees for every aspect of treatment that you need. So we're all kind of different companies and different supporters, different roles that all play to the same treatment.
That's so cool, because I think that does just bring a different aspect, to the treatment, because people can specialize in one area or another, but you have so much more, power and things you can accomplish together.
And there's so many parts of your life that the eating disorder is going to affect. Socially, and you may have multiple diagnoses, so you need more than just one person to support you. You need a lot more things going on so that your recovery is really solid.
Absolutely, and eating disorders are definitely more about food, so it's nice to know that you've got just that breadth of experience and capability to help people get through that.
Yeah.
So Andy, tell us how this whole support network came about. This was kind of your doing, right?
Yeah, it was a long time ago, actually. It started in the mid-'80s when I was an undergraduate at the University of California, Irvine, and I was working with a counseling center in the Women's Resource Center. And so a few of us put together an eating disorder support group at the university. And what you would expect in Southern California, college-age population, tons of people come, right? Not a big surprise. Everything in the literature at that point would have told us that that group of people would have been interested in doing eating disorder work. Or
no surprise.
No surprises. So what happened was, I was working with, also at the same time doing some research on eating disorders with a woman who was Mariko Adams. She was African American and also a professor in the university. And when we started doing research on people with eating disorders, there was nothing out there. In fact, it was so impoverished that it looked like there were actually 3 or 4 people who had eating disorders who were people of color, and we knew that wasn't right because we knew we were seeing more than that in the groups that we were running. So that really kind of launched the Eating Disorders Support Network, because we really set out to figure out who was impacted by eating disorders. We knew that there were groups of people. We just needed to find them. So
you can't tell by looking at someone necessarily that they have that sort of issue. So that research was very helpful.
The research was helpful, but then we ran groups in all different parts of Southern California. I was running groups on the border of inner city Long Beach and Compton, and we were finding lots of different people were coming to the group. We were finding that older people, 60s and 70s, were coming to the groups. Gay, lesbian, trans people were coming to the groups with incredible gender dysphoria. We were finding that Latina and African American women and men were coming to the groups. Absolutely surprising. And not just, I don't want to say not just, but not just disordered eating, which was what you might expect. I mean, people who had binge purge disorders, people who had restrictive disorders. So what we were finding in reality was not at all reflected in
So finding that underserved population, we brought that idea to Madison. You brought that idea to Madison, and that's where I came in. And it's not just people who are a different age, gender identity, race. It's people who have insurance but don't have the right treatment. It's people who have multiple diagnoses and don't know how to get the right support. And so we're really combining a bunch of different services here, and that's kind of where we got that. Who is underserved and how are they being underserved?
How great to
and
have
how
that.
can we meet that need?
Absolutely.
Right here in Madison. That's nice.
And so for people who are watching, who are thinking, like that holistic approach is really kind of speaking to me and something I could be interested in, where can they find more information?
So we do have a phone number to call. We have a Facebook as well. We're also going to be involved in the NEDA Walk. So we do a lot of advocacy. We're around. You have the specific
So Facebook, you can find us at the Eating Disorder Support Network, and the phone number is listed. And anybody who needs any services, even if you think you know somebody and you're not sure what to do, it's okay to call that number, and any one of us will help you
That's a
make
good
sense
point.
of.
Wonderful. Andy and Jenna of the Eating Disorder Support Network, thank you so much for being
Thank
here
you
today.
for having
I
us.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
And Girl
Thank you.
Talk will be back right after this. We're at the Vinery.